Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Vin, and today for Book Trek 2023, we are looking at Star Trek Countdown to Darkness. So Book Trek is a booktube reading event. It has become an annual event now. We kind of change it up every year. But this year is the Summer of Trek, where for 3 months, June, July, and August, we are basically reading Trek fiction. That's what Book Trek is all about, just having fun with Star Trek fiction. And that can be like proper books and novels, or in this case, graphic novels, something that I like. I had found this at a local library book sale for 50 cents. So it's not something I normally would have picked up, especially stuff involving the Kelvin timeline, which I do enjoy those movies. There's some, I will admit, dumb things in those movies, but I still think that they're entertaining as movies. And I know that a lot of people who are not originally Star Trek fans actually started giving the franchise much more of a chance after watching those movies. So I do credit them for actually creating or increasing the fan base in a lot of ways. So this is Star Trek Countdown to Darkness. This is a prequel to Star Trek Into Darkness, the second J.J. Abrams movie in the Kelvin timeline. And that one in particular does have some dumb things. Of course, we have Khan, and it relies very heavily on people knowing Wrath of Khan, a lot of callbacks, and those are some maybe the more weaker parts of the movie, although there is also some cool action, nice, good intense moments, some cool cinematography going on. I will watch the movie, and I will have fun watching it, even though, you know, you just gotta shut your brain off to certain aspects. So I didn't really have high hopes for this, though, as a graphic novel, but I gotta say, it ended up being okay. This is gonna be a pretty short video. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. Again, I picked it up for like 50 cents at a library book sale, so there was very little risk in here. But essentially, we have Spock dealing with the trauma of losing his homeworld, Vulcan, and his mother, which happened in the first film. They do a pretty nice job with that. And then we have them going to a planet that is supposed to be a pretty primitive planet, but they end up basically coming across some Federation weapons. And what they find is Robert April, who was one of the earlier captains of the Enterprise, who in this timeline, in this version of things, he's been gone for 10 years and he's been presumed dead. But no, he's not dead. He's actually on this planet, and he's basically been like a freedom fighter, helping this one species. They're kind of insectoid. They're humanoid, but they're kind of insect-like. And they're very similar to... No, they're just like a different color, basically. And they're almost getting wiped out. It's like a genocide that is occurring. And he has been there trying to help them. But the more powerful faction has basically gotten weapons fed by the Klingons. So we essentially have kind of a recreation of, in some ways, an original series episode. I think it was called A Private Little War, something like that, where there's like this idyllic Eden-like planet that the Klingons are feeding arms into, and there ends up being an arms race, and it's no longer idyllic in the end. This isn't about an idyllic setting, but we have an arms race involving Klingons, and questions about the Prime Directive, and, you know, when does it apply, and, you know, how far should they go to saving people, you know, even if it does break the Prime Directive. So it actually helps to explain a lot of the stuff that happens in the very first part of the second film, why they go through such lengths to save a civilization from this volcano that's erupting, you know, that sort of thing. And also there's a reference in the movie, I think, about the ship, the Mud ship that was commandeered, and we see where that comes from. It's not Harry Mudd, it's like his daughter or something. And overall, I'm not going to give away how everything turns out. I think it's about enough information. But it wasn't bad. It was solid. It was a decent little read. Didn't mind reading it all. I'm actually glad I picked it up. So that's it. If you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, thank you, BookTube.